Road test coming up for you shortly, but let's kick this video off with a glove test. Check this out. Idea with this is if we want to turn the temperature up, we just swipe this way. And that seems to be working, and to turn it down, we just swipe this way here. That climate control console is much more sensitive to your bare finger, but it does still work with your gloves on. So very important on your test drive that you check the settings of two controls down here. Check this out. This infotainment system is one of my favorites out there right now. Let me show you why. When it comes to the market's latest crossovers, this stretch of highway, which many of us Northern Ontarians call the field cutoff, quickly separates the good from the great when it comes to handling, steering, and dynamics. Specifically, the narrow lanes, soft shoulders, plentiful corners, and heavy transport truck traffic means a vehicle that responds precisely and mitigates driver workload tends to be just the ticket for a rewarding drive. In my favorite crossovers on this particularly twisty stretch of highway, the steering makes it easy to place the vehicle precisely within the long sweeping corners the first time, using small inputs with minimal need to readjust. My favorite crossovers here have suspensions calibrated to provide a good feel of the goings-on between the tires and the surface of the road, and to take a set quickly on corner entry, which keeps the body flat and stable more of the time. So the result from the driver's seat is a reduced workload at the steering wheel, flatter and more stable handling, reduced driver fatigue, and improved confidence. And though handling and cornering are not the most important attributes to most crossover shoppers, the Tiguan is one of those crossovers that makes them very easy to appreciate in this setting. For 2023, Tiguan pricing starts at $36,332 Canadian, with standard turbocharged power and 4-motion all-wheel drive. Standard equipment includes an 8-inch digital cockpit instrument cluster, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, heated front seats, 17-inch wheels, and the front assist safety feature with autonomous emergency braking. Topping the model range from $46,832 is the Tiguan Highline R-Line, with 20-inch wheels, an around-view camera system, Fender audio, heated front and rear leather seats, and more. Engage Sport Mode from the Drive Mode selector, and the Tiguan's steering heavies and quickens, allowing drivers to steer with their wrists. In this hyperlapse footage, you'll notice how little work my hands are doing at the wheel to navigate the winding highway. This is a good visualization of how easy the Tiguan is to drive. The steering is light on center, quickly heavies when an input is applied, and points the Tiguan's nose confidently into bends as the suspension quickly sets, and keeps things feeling planted and bolted on. Mid-corner bumps do little to upset the machine's composure, just keep your eyes up and your next corner front of mind, and it steers and handles with a densely athletic feel that reminds me of a luxury sports sedan in how it's both heavy and reassuring, but also eager at your fingertips. During highway cruising, I noted good control of road and suspension noise levels and appreciated a solid, composed feel beneath me. At higher speeds, allow for some wind noise, specifically from the upper areas of the windshield. Though I had no complaints about highway ride comfort, some competitors do deliver a ride with less wind noise at speed. By 110 kilometers an hour or so, I had to raise my voice a little for a Bluetooth phone call, or conversation with a nearby passenger. On the roughest back roads I test crossovers on, the Tiguan impressed with strong control over body motions, keeping the ride from getting too bouncy and dramatic, and keeping the vehicle body and occupants more stable more of the time. On these worst-case scenario testing surfaces, the Tiguan's ride can feel brittle and choppy at times, though dramatic body motions and noise levels are very nicely controlled. It's one of Volkswagen's most advanced, the EA888. With turbocharging and direct injection, this 4-cylinder generates 184 horsepower and 221 pounds of torque, and that's using regular-grade fuel. Expect pleasing pulling power and an advantage in low to mid RPM throttle response compared to non-turbocharged competitor engines. The EA888 is expert at making plenty of power at revs so low, the engine hardly sounds like it's working. From the driver's seat, the bulk of the pulling power is concentrated heavily between about 2,000 and 5,000 RPM. The Tiguan's powertrain has several strengths and a few weaknesses too. On the plus side, pulling power is smooth and eager from even a light throttle press at highway speeds and beyond. With the engine spinning away at 2,000 revs or more, the turbocharger kicks in with minimal lag to surge the Tiguan along smoothly and strongly, and downshifting is typically optional unless there's a big hill to climb or a quick pass is required. The powertrain is at its smoothest once you're up to speed and moving. In around town driving, and perhaps especially in slow-moving traffic, it can feel clumsy and awkward at times. Specifically, when adjusting throttle inputs at low revs, drivers may notice some subtle lurching, wobbling, or vibrations from the driveline, most often when shifting up and down at low speeds. In combined driving, the Tiguan will use between 9.4 and 9.8 liters of gas for every 100 kilometers you drive, depending on the model grade you select. The R-Line models are slightly thirstier. So while some competitors deliver better fuel economy and smoother driveline operation in certain situations, it is hard to argue with the Tiguan's sense of style. After a week at the wheel, I appreciated my tester's sense of upscale flair and on-the-road presence fitting of an up-level product. The handsome looks, athletic stance, and recently updated styling elements see a machine that's detailed, trimmed, and decorated tastefully from top to bottom, tip to tail. The sense of style carries on inside too. A digital instrument cluster and proximity-detecting touchscreen infotainment interface, combined with generous use of premium materials and gloss finishes, to create a modern, clean, organized, and techy-looking cockpit. Handy storage is ample around the driver, the infotainment system is vivid and logical, and the chubby leather-wrapped steering wheel and metal pedal covers provide some sporty signals to enthusiasts. Add in the playful use of texture, shapes, and gloss, and you've got a cabin that's easily amongst the segment's most rewarding and original to look at, I think. So very important on your test drive that you check the settings of two controls down here. Check this out. First, we've got the drive mode selector here, and by rotating the dial, we've got different terrain modes. That's custom, off-road, on-road, and snow. There's also the driving mode, which is the little button here in the middle, and when we press that, we have the option for eco, normal, sport, and custom. You can select them here on the screen, or you can also select them just by pressing the button down here on the dial. These driving modes can have a major effect on the feel, the response, and the overall driving character of the Tiguan, and if you're not getting the throttle response that you're expecting, make sure you're using that sport mode. There is a major difference between eco, normal, and sport in this case. Now, those you select with the drive mode dial and button, the other setting to keep your eye on relates to the gear shifter here. So we can see that pattern up on top. We've got D and S. By pulling down on this, we're changing from drive, which is the regular shifting pattern, to sport, which is a more aggressive shifting pattern. So by making sure that you've got the drive mode selector in sport mode and the transmission in sport mode as well, you'll get the best sense possible of the performance available from this machine.
Thank you for watching. My name's Justin Pritchard for Driving.ca. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe.
If you like this video, we've got plenty more like it, so consider hitting the subscribe button down below so you never miss a new upload. Leaving a like if you learned something new. And until next time, take care and drive safe.